We got hards on. We're going to the end.
Yo, huge day for annoying people everywhere. Lando Hive, stand up. Lando Norris wins the Austrian Grand Prix. I'm doing this for a second time, by the way. Audio disappeared on me the first time, so I'm going to be speaking this time with complete fear, non-stop. That's going to happen again. But the Austrian Grand Prix, my favourite race on the calendar, completely underrated, right? And I do have to say, I missed the race. Was I out slaying demons? No. Was I out saving the world? No. Was I out protesting for change? No. I was sitting here doing niche and it was on. I just completely forgot there was a race on for some reason. I think it's because I had work in the evening and my mind just wasn't computing that there was a race to watch. And it's like I was busy. And I would see something on like social media and it would remind me there's a race happening in a couple. I just did not remember, and I was on my way to work, and I was like, Lando Norris wins the Austrian Grand Prix, and I even emoted. You don't see that from me often, especially on the train. I kind of had to keep it all. If I'm listening to a podcast and it's funny, I try and the corners of my mouth are going. I'm trying to Terry on Reese. I'm trying to keep it, But this, I had to let out like a little gasp even. I know. I pushed the boat out there because it's just a huge day for annoying people everywhere, and we are so happy, and we've had some stuff to smile about. But even outside of that, just a great Grand Prix in general, just like drama across the track, and I can't wait to talk about it for a second time. So that's probably a lie. Probably the first time I couldn't wait to talk about it. Now this is a little bit laborious, but here we are. If we go across the teams, Red Bull, their situation, it goes hand in hand with the Racing Bull situation. Ferrari had a good weekend, I think. The Piastri of it all. Oh my god, Grey Day radios are back. You ask, they shall deliver. Now they're not back on the full broadcast because some reason they're trying to sanitize Piastri. I feel like people get put in their boxes, right? If that's Verstappen, they're airing them radios. But if anything comes out of Piastri's mouth that isn't ChatGPT AI, Android dialogue, they just like, this ain't on brand, get rid. But Piastri started to, fire up a little bit recently. And you're going to see the cope I use. That's fueled a lot of grade A level cope from me. But anything else apart from that? I guess Kimi, I'm going to talk about that. How did the end of the race go? Gasly was fucking shit. Oh my god, there was so much good shit. Because I will say Piastri did get fucked over many a time this weekend. But I guess we'll start off with quali. Rate my quali. What happened in quali? Quali I didn't miss. That was Lando on pole. Lando was consistently the quickest driver across the weekend. Every time he raced, he was first. First in FP1. No, he didn't race in FP1. So lie, I just lied to you. I lied to you and I'm sorry about it. He was first in FP2. First in FP3, first in Q1, Q2, Q3 obviously on pole, then wins the race. Don't know if he got the fastest lap, but it was a pretty flawless weekend. He puts it on pole, big margin, biggest margin of the season so far. Yeah, I'm a flex these stats. If you don't like it, sorry, you'll probably be able to laugh at me next week, let's be honest. Lando will probably bin it on the first lap of Silverstone, and I'll be here in tears. And you'll get your turn to laugh, People, you've had your turn for large parts of the season actually, so give me a break. Biggest margin of the season so far. To be fair, I don't think Piastri would have got pole. I think he at very least would have. The gap wouldn't have been 5 and a bit tenths or whatever. But he did. He didn't, and he didn't get to that time because I think Gasly or someone had spun out on the final lap, but didn't get to set it, and we just get a radio, which leaving anyone else's lips, standard words. Like leaving a random geezer, on the M25, bit of road rage. Fuck, man, fuck, you'd expect that. That's just part of the dialect. Coming from Oscar Piastri, who, by the way, turns into Crocodile Dundee when he's angry, apparently. Like, that accent gets strong. Fuck, man, what the shrimp on a fucking dingo, he gets pissed and he gets Australian. And, he didn't get to set the time. Jesus Christ, man, and it's just crazy. You can tell when a nation is down really hard, right? When people are taking those clips and everyone's going, Piastri's starting to feel the pressure already. And by the way, at this point, like at now, it's a 15-point swing. At that point, the race hadn't happened yet, so it's probably more like a 20-point swing. And everyone's acting like, you know. And Piastri probably is feeling pressure, but I don't think he's probably feeling it as hard as Lando. You know, but at the same time, everyone's taking that clip. I say everyone, I'm on a very specific corner of Twitter where people are taking that clip and saying, Piastri's feeling the pressure, you know, finally we're starting to see him crack maybe because, hey, we've got to eat whatever we can. In terms of quali, I think Yuki didn't get out of Q1. That Red Bull is balls. Is balls something people used to describe as a bad thing? I don't know. It's shy, basically. Well, it's not. But the thing about the Red Bull is it hasn't. The way in which it's got worse has been really weird because its drop off as a car hasn't actually been huge. Sure, they were leading races not long ago by 30 seconds to a minute, and now they're not. But it's still a very competitive car that can win races and stuff. But it's like the way in which it has got worse is in the difference between what the guy in the second car can do. Because like the standards, like okay, Yuki came in right. Oh, Yuki's doing a really good job actually. He was finishing like 10th. He was just about getting into Q3, and everyone's fucking putting him on Mount Everest. You know, everyone's carrying him on their shoulders like, you know, like a bar mitzvah. Do they do that at bar mitzvahs? You know, everyone's got him up. You know, singing his praises, and it's like the standards are just on the floor for what the second driver has to achieve and what that car can do for a second driver at the moment. Because, you know, it's not that long ago. Okay, sure it was. When I started watching Formula 1 was when Albon, I think, was at Red Bull. And the standards were you're meant to get podiums. And, you know, he's finishing 7th and 6th. And it's like, this guy's fucking shit, mate. He's not getting a seat. Whereas now it's like, if you could do that in the car, you'd be seen as a god almost. Because consistently Verstappen can still like be challenging for poles a lot of the time, or at least be in the top 3 and finishing races in the top 3. And he probably would have been up and around the top 3 or 4. Okay, Piastri, sure, they were always going to want to it. Leclerc, he had to go up against Hamilton, Russell, fine for those places. I don't think it's out of the question to say he probably would have picked up the car is there, Verstappen can still produce with it, and some people look at that and they go, that's just because Verstappen's an absolute beast. Which, yeah, sure, maybe. I mean, it'd be really interesting to see Verstappen in the racing balls. I know that makes no sense, but let's just do it. Let's drop Verstappen. Let's demote him to the sister team. Just as a bit of like, you know what? I was actually saying as a joke. Surely it would actually be maybe an interesting little experiment. They probably don't need to see this visually actually play out because they can just see this through data. But it would be interesting to see Verstappen in a racing ball. Promote Hadjar. Like if they do this for like the final 3 races, if like there's nothing to play for anymore anyway, like everything's gone, which it already is, but you can't do it now. You can't really like show your belly and concede now. But like at the end of the season, the same way how if you get into like a Premier League season, some teams start playing the kids a bit more or whatever. You like promote Hadjar because he's done really well this year, and he's looking like he's got talent. So you let him be in the Red Bull for like the final 2 races. You bring Verstappen into the racing ball, and then we can just see, because would Hadjar step into the Red Bull, and would both him and Yuki be struggling to get to Q2? That's firstly what I want to see. Then I want to see if Verstappen in a racing ball would have the kind of gap to Lawson that he was having in the Red Bull. I mean, first of all, he wouldn't positions wise because Lawson got to like Q3 this weekend, right? But I mean, like Lawson was like qualifying 20th, finishing 20th. He was only there for 2 races or whatever, but like that's what he was doing, right? It's just like, because I want to know, is this a dog shit car across the board that Verstappen for some reason can just get so much out of, or is this a very good car but a very specific car? Because like when you get into the sport, you're like, oh, this is weird. They got different machinery. Wait, some people are in quicker cars, but then what you actually realise is why Formula 1's so good and interesting, because it's just this whole added layer to things where it's like, what the fuck is going on half the time? And yeah, for the most part, the cream will rise to the top. Like, yeah, sure, if you got to be in the quickest car to really challenge, but like, it's not like, oh, you're just in the quickest. It's not if you put like shit drivers in the quickest car, they're gonna, you know, be the quickest. Like, the quickest drivers are in the quickest cars because we can tell who the quickest drivers are. Like, it usually works out pretty fairly in that kind of way. But, you know, they were asking questions to Liam Lawson, like, yo, would you want to be demoted? And obviously he said no. Like, I think that's the right thing to say. And I arguably do agree. It's like when, like, Man United sign players from, like, teams like Bournemouth, and people are like, what the fuck would he want to leave Bournemouth and go to you? Why would he want to leave Bournemouth and go to Manchester United? They finished 16th. Bournemouth are pushing for European places because it's Bournemouth. It's Bournemouth. And Manchester United is Manchester United, the biggest club in the world. You're playing in a fucking theatre of dreams or whatever, 75,000. Or I could be at Bournemouth on the seaside for 11,000. Sure, pushing for Europe now. But as an athlete, you have to have it in your mind that, sure, this is a team not doing great at the moment. At the moment. They finished 16th. Now, I'm going to go there. Biggest club. Maybe a team they supported growing up. I'm going to go there and we're going to, you know, do great things in the long term. Like, Lawson, sure, you would sit outside of this with like a level head and look at it and go, well, Lawson's getting better results and his stocks are higher racing in the racing bulls. So no way should he want to go back. I reckon if he said to Liam Lawson, hey, do you want to jump back in that Red Bull? Do you want your seat back? He would snap your hand off and take it. Even though he was there for if you promised him time, even though he was there for 2 races and got like P20 or whatever, he would take it because that's just the mind I feel like of an athlete. And you've got to believe that. And you've been fine for that your whole life. You weren't fine your whole life to drive for the sister team, regardless of if they're doing better now. You know? But let's go into the actual race. Obviously, we had Kimi spinning out Max into turn 1, which all the T's. Oh, no, you're teasing me. This podcast is called Hard Zone, and when I'm pretty sure the commentator said, you know, Verstappen's been taken out by Russell. Oh my god, it was like fucking, like that was just lightning, you know. And then they said, I think it's Kimi, and I was like, for fuck's sake, I've never allowed a largest like sigh. Oh, we almost had it all, guys. Because I promise you right now, if that was Russell, don't think Verstappen's hopping up the car to give him a quick arm around the shoulder and say, oh, it's no problem. He's probably jumping out to kick him in the shins. That would have just been fiery excellence. Fiery excellence. That's something I just said. But yeah, no. It was Kimi who did it. Kimi, kind of the only rookie had a shit weekend, really. I don't know what Hadjar did to be honest, but Lawson did his best finish and I guess qualifying so far. Bortoletto showed why he won F2. He's actually started to show us a little bit of something. I actually have no idea what Behrman got up to. And, okay, so maybe it's not that bad. But Kimi crashes out on the first lap. It happens to all of us, says Max. You know, he's not that pissed about it. We go full from there, and then we get, oh my god. Then we get, because obviously I watched the highlights and stuff. And as much as I wish I saw the race, my god, my heart would have been out my ass for those corners. I mean, I say those corners. Apparently, Piastri was following very close behind for like the whole race, Lando. And, yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about the overtakes now. And it's what we've been wanting to see for so long. Like, and I know we've seen it in like these last 2 races now. Them racing each other on similar tyres. I think last time he could have got him as well, but, you know, he was just a bit eager. He was trying to sound a little too clever, maybe. And he fucked himself. And, yeah. You know, we all remember what happened in Canada. But, like, we've seen it again now. I feel like times before you've seen him, like, race, sure. But there's always team positions, usually, for the last 2 seasons. And this season, it's been like, oh, the tyres are offset, though. But the last 2 races, oh, my God, we've been fed, ladies and gentlemen. And not only, it's not just like, oh, like, Piastri catches on a long DRS straight, overtakes him in a corner, and then that's it. They were racing like through different corners, like 2, 3, 4. Like, it was exciting stuff, you know, on the edge stuff. And people were saying, "Oh, it's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, mate." Like, why are they telling Piastri he has to like tone it down a bit? Because he almost did take both of them out. Let's be honest about that. Like that one where he kind of locks up into like turn 3 or 4, whichever one. I don't know the corners. I already knew like the race result. Even knowing that, in the moment whilst watching that move, or that attempted move, I thought that's both of them out. Did I get the wrong, was that notification like 2 years old? How did I get a notification for Lando winning? He's literally about to get taken out, he's about to spin out. Does he come back from being spin out? No, he just missed him. And yeah, it was a little bit desperate, I think. Locks up a little bit there. But we saw some good IQ from Lando, switching back, getting in with the second loaded DRS, pulling away, just making sure he was ahead for that first pit stop, because that was crucial, I think, for going forth to win the race. And you could hear the disappointment of Piastri's voice when he had to box. And oh man, I just feel great about it. And just the kind of copium I got in my head. I genuinely looked at the calendar. I saw Austria, Silverstone, and Spa, and went, that's basically 3 home races for Lando. I mean, Silverstone obviously is home race. Belgium, Spa. I mean, I think he's part Belgium. That's also like another home race. He'll probably do great there. I know Piastri's great at Spa, but it's basically another home race. And then Austria. I mean, because first podium Austria is great Austria. Yeah, we'll call it another home race. Like, that's basically the kind of logic I've been looking at things genuinely going forward. But yeah. Piastri then comes out of the pits. I think he's behind Lando, and it's kind of crucial. Like, he's already probably like 2 seconds behind, but still, he can close that. He can make a final push. And then there's the back markers. There's the back markers fighting over their fucking scraps. Raccoons at the bottom of the bin fighting over crumbs. Okay, and we're up here trying to do legitimate business. We're trying to deal with legitimate business, and they've got the fucking bombs at the back of the track fighting over P17 and P16. I don't know what percentage they were actually in. Who was fighting? It was Colapinto. Where did Colapinto finish? I don't know. Is this dead? Can I check this? It's alive. But you know what I'm like in multitasking, trying to talk and search at the same time. We'll check where Colapinto finished, because I wanted to see just how ridiculous this was. Because Piastri is obviously, in his mind at that time, fighting for the win. If I can just catch Lando here getting some DRS, I can try and right the wrongs and maybe adjust where I overtake him instead of what I was trying in the first part of the race. F1 Austria race result. Because it's especially annoying if they were shit. Okay, so where is... I'm not... 15th. I guess it was worth it then. And he pushes him out onto the grass. I don't think he saw him there, to be fair. And Piastri just drops fucking dynamite. He just fucking drops dynamite. And it didn't make the light of day. But he dropped dynamite. The meme of like, which rapper is it? God, I can't remember what rapper it is. Gunner, maybe? That meme of when he's writing and the pen's on fucking fire. Not that Piastri had this pre-written or whatever, but like he said something to the effect of, fuck me, mate, Alpine's still finding a way to bend me over and fucking raw dog me to this day. He said something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. Because like in quali, Gasly spins out, can't set a lap. In the race, he gets pushed onto the grass by back markers. Fucking back markers. There is nothing that will make you more pissed than something like that, because you're literally looking at them like these are useless guys. Like, these guys are not even in the race, and they're like fucking you up. But obviously I'm gassed by that. Lando pulls away, and Piastri makes a charge. Ultimately fails though to get back at Lando. Lando wins by a couple seconds. Piastri second, but that's the thing. Piastri got fucked over in quali and the race. He still finished P2, man. Like, he still was just there. I feel like if Lando got dealt a similar set, a similar hand or whatever, he wouldn't have made maybe the most that Piastri did. Like, I've seen Lando on weekends where everything doesn't go exactly his way. I don't know if he would have been second, right 2 seconds behind Piastri. He has sometimes, but obviously other times, there's been bigger swing weekends. I feel like more often than not, if Lando's first, Piastri's second. If Lando's second, Piastri's third. Whereas I feel like more often than not this season, it's been if Piastri's first, Lando's fourth, Piastri's second, Lando's fifth. Maybe that's happened less times than I'm imagining. It's only a 15-point swing, but at the same time, it feels often. Maybe it just feels even worse because of Canada. But it's only a 15-point swing at the moment. Just think about how crucial, how big that mistake was. Like, getting no points when Piastri went on to finish fourth or third or second or wherever he finished at Canada. I've already erased it from my mind because it's traumatizing to me. I don't have to talk about it. Don't ask me about it anymore. I'm done. But yeah, let's move on. I haven't really spoke about the Ferraris. I mean, they both did well. Hamilton obviously gets Russell on the first couple of laps. They're both going to finish third and fourth. That's like 3 podiums in Leclerc's last 4 races. You'll know about it because Leclerc fans won't stop telling you about it. He's not underrated. Everyone knows Leclerc's one of the best drivers on the track. But yeah, that was that. So, is that everything I wanted to kind of mention in the race? Pretty much. Kind of just wanted to be gassed and be happy while I can. We were going into Silverstone. Lando did a good Silverstone last year. There's no one I'd want to see win it more than Lando, obviously. Obviously, if I had to pick anyone, it would be Hamilton again. But I did see that last season, and it was epic. Lando led against Verstappen. The crowd went crazy. This is back when he was actually liked. And I'm sure it still would in the grandstands anyway. That's more of a Twitter thing. But, has that a lot of defenders do when he was freaking out against Hamilton. He's fucking driving into the puddles and shit. But it's etched in my brain. Can he go one step further? I'm confident he'll put it on pole. I'm confident, Silverstone, it's a track that injects something into British drivers. I mean, Hamilton was kind of having a nothing nowhere season. He hadn't won a race in like 2-3 years or whatever. Gets to Silverstone and it fucking breathes something into you, and you make it happen. And I'm hoping that can happen. I'm hoping that can now be momentum. That can be 2 race wins in a row, a home win. Going into Spa, which, sure, he's part Belgian or whatever, half Belgian, but from what I remember, Piastri is very good at Spa in the way that Lando is very good at Austria, so I think it'll be tricky to win there. But going in with momentum, that can only help things. And I'm just praying. I'm praying for a win, for a Lando win at Silverstone. It'll be cool. It'll be awesome, mate. It'll be freaking, yeah. It can happen. It can happen. And what also can happen? He can fuck it up in Q3 for the 18th time this season, and then have to be fighting from P5 on the grid or something, just to get in like a sniff of sort of Piastri's DRS towards the end of the race. And I'd be in I don't stop thinking about that. But yeah, does a lot for British drivers. I'm not even going to get into, by the way, the whole discourse. We got to do this dance every year. Why is Alex Albon not in the fucking Silverstone British drivers graphics? They do. Why are they erasing Albon? Why is it only Russell, Lando, Behrman, Lewis that they put on the graphic? Shut the fuck up. We've been over this so many times. It's so stupid. But yeah, next we got. I didn't do soft, medium, hards. Okay, soft Yuki, fucking hell. Every time I looked at him, he was spinning out and he didn't qualify good. Medium, Piastri, great radios. Ultimately a great race. He got fucked over a lot. Hard, Lando, you know why. Now, next week we have got Silverstone. I've just been speaking about it for the last however long. And everyone, let's all hold hands in unison and let's all say a little prayer. Oh, wait, guys, stop fucking with the prayer. I can hear the Leclerc fans and the Piastri fans, trying to tamper with it. Stop. Okay, we're all going to say a little prayer. Cool. Hands in the middle. What team? What? McLaren, I guess. But, particular driver. And let's go forth and let's, manifestation. Okay, we got Haas and we're going to the end. I'll see you for Silverstone. Thank you very much and goodbye.